Well, hello and welcome back to The Elegant Life. I'm Erin Kurt, a spiritual teacher and life coach who assists women in coming back home to their divinity so that they can live and manifest exquisite lives for themselves. All right, well, we've been continuing on this series of how to connect with the divine. And the reason for all of this, why are we even trying to connect to the divine, is because of what it does for us personally and what it does for the collective consciousness of the planet. This is your purpose. When everybody says, what is my purpose? I want to fulfill my purpose. I'll tell you what your purpose is. Every single one of our purposes on this earth is to expand consciousness, expand divine essence. And divine essence has many, many attributes of it. And we've been going through each attribute. And as you can see, if we spread these things that we've been talking about, creativity, unlimited abundance, beauty, well, just even saying the words makes you feel better, doesn't it? So this week, we're talking about love. Love. We are talking about how you can use love to connect to divinity. Now, as everything that I speak about it in a different way than you're usually used to. This is a very unique perspective that we have at The Elegant Life, the way we live our lives, the way we view our lives. Now, let's just step back here and remember something. Everything has a frequency to it, a measurable frequency. Even consciousness is what we call 0-point energy. It is vibrating so fast, faster than the speed of light. And so we can't see it. We feel it. We sense it. There's been moments when you have had that experience of feeling bliss. Bliss is when nothing else exists, but everything exists within you. You've had moments, maybe even seconds, that is divine frequency. That's divine energy. Now, love is very close to that. It resonates at such a high frequency that you feel when you're in a new relationship, when you're in love, when you look at your children sleeping at night, you feel love. And it overcomes you. It's everything, yet you can't touch it, but it's this feeling, this frequency of that energy. Now, if we understand this, then we can say that if we use the frequency of love by getting into that frequency, then we can really affect change, because when something vibrates at a very high rate, it has the ability to transmute and dissolve anything that is a lower energy of it. It's called the law of entrainment. I've done a special video on that I highly recommend. It's one of my most popular videos I've ever done. And I show you some experiments where you can get to really see this in action. So I will put the link below to that. Totally suggest going to watch that after this one. So the law of entrainment states that in the presence of high energy, anything lower will rise to match it. And it's like if you think of a dark room. You walk into a dark room, it's dark. The frequency is lower. You turn on the light or you shine a flashlight, and all of a sudden, in that space, wherever that light is, there is no darkness. Let's visualize ourselves then as these beacons of light, because we know that's where we came from. Remember, we talked in videos, the divine intended us, then created us, and although we are in a physical form, that essence, that high vibration is still within us. It's not gone, it's there. So we have it within us. And if we use love and we come from a love perspective, which I'm going to talk about how to do that in just a second, then we walk into a space, we walk into a grocery store, we meet someone, we speak with someone, we interact with someone, we teach someone, we work with someone. We bring the light into any darkness and we rise up the darkness into light. And the frequency is going to be high, very close to the divinity. Now, when we're spreading that, obviously we're being that. And that is when you feel a connection to the divine. So when you're being a connection to the divine, you're also affecting other people and allowing them to experience the divine too. It's a beautiful win-win situation for everybody. So how do we get into this state of love? This is one of the most powerful things. I remember when I was practicing Buddhism. Now, one of the most beautiful things about Buddhism that I loved and I took away from it was the aspect of being certain attributes, really getting into the state of that, visualizing that color of what you think love is. For me, it was very much this red, and I visualized this color of red. And I used to say, and actually I still say to this day, every single day, bless me with the love of a divine enlightened being. And then I visualize red color just filling me, glowing me, overflowing me with red so that it's coming out of my pores. And I walk around as this beautiful, loving, red energy being. So I walk around as that. And I do that in the morning. I've got a whole morning process that I'm going to be sharing with all the ladies that are going to join me in a retreat that I'm hosting in May, but I'll talk about that all later. That's one of the things that I do to put myself in the state of love. And then as I move around my day, I say to myself, how would whatever you use, you might say, how would Buddha speak in this sense? How would Jesus speak in this sense? How would God speak in this sense? And if you think in terms of how I would speak, I would say, how would consciousness speak in this situation? You know, I deal with heavy traffic here, and there's a lot of different people coming from different countries here in Dubai, and the traffic can sometimes get a little chaotic because everybody's following their own rules from what they know, and it doesn't always jive. And at first it was really bringing up frustration and anger within me, and then I realized as soon as that emotion of frustration and anger comes, I know that I'm not living in my divine nature of love and bliss and peace. So I have to recheck myself and realign myself. And when I do that, I say to myself, how would consciousness be? How would consciousness speak? How would consciousness think in this situation? And when you start questioning yourself and you start trying to speak from love and act in love and always connect it back to your divine nature. The most divine me would speak how? The most divine me would act in this situation how? Would they take things personally? Would they get all upset? Would they shout profanities? No. So that is what I would love to gift you so we can be love. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you about is doing things. We talked about being love, but what about doing things that you love? One of the biggest things that we do every day is work. Whether you are a stay-at-home mother or you go out to work or you own your own business, what you do is so important. Is it what you love? Did you make the choice to be a stay-at-home mom and that is something that you love? Do you have your own business? And do you love it? Are you going to a job that you love? When you do a job that you love, remember we talked about finding your calling in a couple of videos earlier. I can put the link below to those videos as well. When you find your calling, then you are using everything that naturally you have that's easy for you, but that you actually love doing, okay? That is resonating this divine love energy all over the place. On the contrast, if you're going to a job that you don't love, working with people that you don't love and you don't enjoy, this is completely opposite. It's very difficult, and it's going to take a lot of energy for you to be in alignment with this divine energy, your divine nature. So those are the two things, being and doing things from love energy. All right? Spend this week contemplating, are you doing what you really love? You need to make some choices. That's what spiritual women who choose to live elegantly do. They make choices. And are you being that love? Are you consciously aligning yourself with your divine nature? And are you speaking? Are you being that person that comes from that energy? All right? Let's go glow, ladies. Let's be that love. And may I say, you know, you can show me some love by liking this video, with sharing this video. And if you haven't subscribed and you're really feeling that you love this stuff that we're talking about, then go ahead and subscribe. Love being with you this week, and we will see you next week.